Now, last time we talked about chapter 1 and we started talking about St. John. And who was St. John, right? Remember, anybody say anything about St. John quickly? Who's St. John? We wrote like 12 points almost on him. Give me 1 point from the 12. Yes? Son of Zebedee, the father is Zebedee. And anybody knows his brother? James, thank you, Hannah. And is the son of Zebedee, the brother of James. What was his work? Huh? Children of Thunder, that's their title. Who gave them that title? The Lord. Gave them the title Sons of Thunder. Nobody knows why. And I explained it a little bit more in detail. Yes, Verena. They were actually kicking Jesus out of their country. They didn't want him. He said, "We don't want you here. Get out." So John got so angry and said to Jesus, John and James, "Why don't you let us just ask fire in your name?" Because they knew whenever they asked something in Jesus' name, it happens. "Let's ask fire from heaven." She said, don't do that. You don't know what spirit you're from. He called them the sons of thunder. Why the sons of thunder? Why especially thunder? Who did this before? Who did this actually literally happened? Elijah. What did Elijah do when the king wanted to get him? He sent him 3 messengers, each one with 100 people or 50 people. The first one he said, "Man of God, come down." He said, "If I am the man of God," he was very angry, very angry. "If I am the man of God, your king and your queen want to kill me, and you want me to go to him?" They're atheists. They don't know God. They actually hate God. So he said, "If I am the man of God, let thunder comes from heaven and burn you." And they did. Second group did the same thing. What's the third group? The man begged him on his knees from down the mountain. "Man of God, if I find favor in your eyes, if you see me fit, come with me." And then God said to him, "This is a humble man. Go with him." Humble. That's humility. You want to survive? You want to survive? Practice humility. Okay. So, who came in the spirit of Elijah? Who is actually in the gospel called Elijah, the new Elijah? Who is it? Fiery person who doesn't really take sin easy. John the Baptist. They call him Elijah. And actually, this is the last verse in your Old Testament. Go to the New Testament. Go with me to the Old Testament, to the New Testament. First page in the New Testament. First page. First page. The New Testament, first page. First page that says the New Testament. That's the Gospels. Turn back to the last verse in the Old Testament. Now you know that this is actually the very last verse. Turn back from the New Testament a couple of pages to see that where is the prophecy of Malachi. Malachi means my angel, Malachi. What is the last verse, Tuta?
"And you turn the hearts of the fathers."
No, the one before it, I'm sorry. Last 2 verses.
"Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the earth with a curse."
So what's the last promise given in the Old Testament? The last promise.
The hearts of
He will send Elijah. There was a verse, the conclusion of the Old Testament, will send Elijah. So who is Elijah? John the Baptist. And what's John the Baptist going to do? Prepare for Christ. Okay. Who was disciple of Saint John the Baptist? So if John the Beloved is a disciple of Elijah, what would he be like? The son of thunder, right? Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so we said that. What else about John? What was it about John? By the way, John is the patron saint of our, he's the patron saint of our kitchen. Sit. Our kitchen, our restaurant. Oh, he's the patron saint of our church. This is the Archangel Raphael and Saint John the Beloved. Okay, what else about John? He is the one who sat on the right side of Jesus or the left side of Jesus and leaned against his chest and said, Master, teacher, who's going to betray you? And Jesus gave it to him. He said, watch, the one I'm going to take the piece of bread, dip it, and give it to, he's the one who's going to betray me. And what did he give? Who did he give it to? Judas. So, by the way, they say in the arrangement of the table, John was on his left side. Who was on his right side? Judas. Judas was on his right side. Jesus on his right side. They said he was the oldest or the highest in rank. Anyway, so what else about John? Where did John go as an apostle? Which city he went to? Ephesus. He went to the church of Ephesus. And who did he get responsible for? Saint Mary. When? What happened? What happened that he got responsible for Saint Mary? Yes? When
Jesus got on the cross.
On the cross, he told him, John, here is your mother. And he told Saint Mary, woman, here is your son. Good. Was Saint John martyred or he died as an old man? He's the only one of the 12. He died at peace. When Saint Peter spoke to Jesus at the last time they met at the Lake of Tiberias, he said to him, Jesus told Peter, follow me. So Peter got up and followed Jesus. And Peter glanced like this, and he saw John actually getting up too. So Jesus is walking, and Peter is following, as if Jesus is going to say something special to Peter. But John is following. What did Peter say? What's that man doing? You want me to follow? So Jesus said, if I want him to stay until I come, what's that to do with you? You follow me. Meaning, mind your own business. Jesus says that to all of us. What about her? What about him? What is so special about this person? Why, Abuna, are you dealing with this person this way? Jesus would say, mind your own business. So John was told that Jesus told him, what if I want him to come? If I want him to stay until I come. But Jesus didn't say that he will stay alive. He just said if, but he didn't say he will. We call him, actually one thing we didn't say last time, John the theologian. Why we call him John the theologian? What's the word theologian mean? Theologian. Theo is God. Logian is like coming from logic or knowing. Knowing God. Theology, to know God. Theologian. Why is he called John the theologian? Because he wrote the Gospel of St. John, which speaks very high stuff. It is the Gospel that written by him. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was, it's very high stuff. And and him was life, and life was light of man. And light shone in the darkness, and darkness did not comprehend it. That's John. He writes very philosophical stuff. Now, let's go to the letter. We said, the beginning of the letter says, the one whom we had seen with our eyes, we had heard with our ears, we had touched, we handled with our hands. What does that mean? Which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon and touched with our hands, concerning the word of life. What did I say that meant? Yes? They are witnesses. They're not really anybody. Why don't I say something? When someone tell you, I really saw that. I really saw it. I really saw it. What does that mean? Usually, when do people say that? Huh? Of something that is wonderful, something that nobody would believe. Like you would say, I had seen the sun come out of the west. Right? Then I say to you, get out of it. Get out of here. And you would tell me, no, Abuna, I really saw it. When you say this, it means something that nobody should usually believed. So what did they say? We saw Jesus, really did see him. He is the Son of God. He came and told us about the Father. What did it mean? It meant that the apostles had lived a very fantastic, dream-like 3.5 years with Jesus. You understand what I mean? Like they have lived something that nobody else had experienced. What they had experienced with him, no one else on earth had experienced. Right, Tuta? Otherwise, they would not be speaking in this language. Right? You understand what I'm saying? And when people speak in this language, when they are speaking about something very fantastic. Okay? Now, he said, what is the meaning of walking in the light? And in him there is light. Walk in the light, he says. If we walk in the light. What does it mean to walk in light? Anybody knows what that means? When I say walk in light, man, walk in light, girl. What does it mean to walk in light? Any idea? That's verse 5 and 6. This is the message we have heard from him and proclaimed to you, that God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. What does it mean, light and darkness? Really? What does it mean, light and darkness? Anyone? Light and darkness. Anyone? Anyone? Yes? Huh? God and Satan, sure, but I'm talking about general talk. Everybody. Say somebody is actually living in the light, somebody is living in darkness, like bats. Yes?
Sin?
Yes, but what about sin that makes people be in dark? Huh? Sadness. But what else?
Guilt?
Very close.
Anger?
No. What does darkness mean? Darkness means nobody can see. So when people do things in the places where nobody can see, why? They're hiding. And why they hide? Because it is wrong and shameful. So to walk in the light means let all your actions be done openly. Don't let people discover something you're doing that's shameful, that you be ashamed of. Because sometimes people, I'll tell you something, when people do things that is not right, and they're ashamed, they want to hide it. And they don't want anybody to know about it. So the more we do this, what happens to our life? It gets suffocated. We just can't really tell anybody about what we're doing. And the more we do it, the more we're like bats. We live in the owls. They only active in the night. Then they cannot live in the light because they don't want anybody to see them. So they say God is light, meaning whatever God is doing is always open. God creates things for people to see. God works so that people can feel it and can enjoy it and give him praise. There's nothing that God does is shameful or sad or, not supposed to be exposed. Share. Sharing is caring. Anna and Tuta, share. Don't keep it in the dark. Bring it out to the light. So whenever you do something that you're ashamed to tell people about, or you don't want your parents to know, that's called what is that called? Darkness. Okay, let me just say before we continue with the chapter. Let us say that you and I had done something shameful, and we're keeping